minutes?
Man, this old man is messing
2 more rounds.
stupid phone.
So that will be 2 hours?
No, that would be 2 more rounds of 5 minutes each.
That's
10 minutes.
Because they're hard questions.
When we going to get to ECOT? When we going to get to qualifications, bishops, and all of that?
Okay. Bring your man back on
That's
feet.
1 point. You have 2 more rounds, two separate
But
points
they're
that
going
you
to be
can make.
asking questions.
No, that'll be after your.
Okay, so I
You
got
get two more.
Okay, I'll
Two
go.
more expositions. All right. At this time, the participants in the debate have agreed to cover 2 more rounds because there were some issues that they were not able to address earlier. So each speaker will receive 5 minutes and then 5 minutes to rebut for 2 more rounds before we start questions. And Riach Dawid will begin.
Thank you kindly, my friend. I want to insert, as Pastor Charles Dowell, he made mention, there's a phrase here in Devarim, chapter 21:15. That's why it is vitally important that we understand grammatics, language, and linguistics. There's a question here asked, and the first word is if. That is a preposition, isn't it? But this question entails a prepositional prefix. And when we read the entirety of this question, it is what we call an antecedent. And an antecedent is simply that there is a prior, there are events and things that took place. They were coming out of Israel, out of Egypt, among the most heathenistic Coptic people on the face of the earth, where they had multiples of wives and they were doing all kinds of wicked things. So the question is this. It says in Devarim 21:15, the prepositional prefix, if a man has 2 wives. Now that is an antecedent. There are things that are before that. He made mention of that. That a king should not multiply his wives. Why? Because the king should live no different than his subjects. Same thing. He should not live in a grander house at straightway and the people live subpar. He eats the same thing, doesn't he? He lives like they live. I knew him before any of you all knew him. So if a man has this participle of this prepositional prefix, there were things that happened before this. There were those that came out with wives. They followed the very ordination and the precepts, the concept of Mizraim. And so Yah said, you can't do them women like that. So if a man has, if a man has 2 wives and another, listen, he can't say what he wants to. Yah uses the word shoneh, hate, violently. You see how the men do when they hate women? They will bust their heads. They will kick them out. They will dog them. That's what shoneh is. It is an aversion. It is a hatred that is deep. Yah is angry and he hates. He hates the sin of his nation. He said if he hates, and they have born to him children. So what he was saying, the heritage rights, you can't deny that because you hate her. You don't love her. There is no man that can love 2 wives. He's the Lord. Can't be done. That's why you find wives that are miserable and no beauty about them. Because that little boy doesn't want to love them. So if he has 2 wives, Yah says both, and he ahava and he hate. You call it what you want to. It says saneh is hatred like Yah hates. He despises with a passion. And if the firstborn be the son of her that was hated 3 times, he used the word hate here. He letting you know not only is it implied or implicit, it is a fact that I hate her. I despise her. I will not give them the birthright of the firstborn. Yah says, then it shall be when he makes his son to inherit that which he has, that he may not make the son of the Chava, the loved. He loved this one, the firstborn. And we see that in the Bereshit. We see that in the Tamnid. Shlomo, he loved one. He loved only one. He loved one. And I can show you examples of that where they love one. Not both or 3 or 4. He said, before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge, nacha, he shall respect that one. That's all he is saying. The son of the hated for the firstborn of the Bechor, the one that has the life of progeneration, by giving him, look now, he didn't give him an inheritance. He gave him a double portion of all that he has. For he is the beginning of the regenerative strength. That's what the firstborn is. And we can see in the pattern throughout the tab beneath that these firstborns of concubines and wives, what do I have?
40 seconds.
Okay. That's what they produce, such violent and evil things in their lives, killing their brothers and raping their fathers, concubines, and all of that. It is in Torah. He said this is the beginning of the regenerative strength, the right of the firstborn. He possessed that. That's why kings do not multiply. Well, that's 30, 40. No, multiplication is 2. Study the word multiply and you'll understand the depths of that. Not him having 3, 4, 5, 6 wives. Hell, he can't even love 1. How can he love 5? It's a lie. What is that?
3 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, since we're in the Torah, and we're going to go ahead and answer exactly what he asserts. Because no man loving 2 wives. A man can love 2 wives. Jacob proved that. Abraham proved that. Moses proved that. David proved that. As a matter of fact, when he was in Ziklag, he had a particular group of people that came and decided they wanted to sack him, and they did. And you know what's amazing about that particular account? Is that they came down and they took everything in the camp, including the wives. And then David asked Yahweh, he said, shall I go up? And guess what Yahweh's giving them approval of? Not only to take everything that they have taken from you, but also recover your wives as well. You see, we're missing the finer points of things. But let's deal with this Deuteronomy 21, verse 5. Verse 10, it says, and when thou goest forth to war against thine enemy, and Yahweh thy Elohim hath delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive. And when thou seest among the captives a beautiful woman. Now these military men, they know what military men do when they go to war. They can act, people can act like they don't do that at all, but they all be having girlfriends, and that's what they call them today. This is the same thing right here. This is Israelites going to war. A beautiful woman, and has desire unto her that thou wouldest have her to be wife. But the restriction is not to take her the way that the Vietnam veterans did over there on the other side, leaving many fatherless children behind. There's an order to things right here. Then thou shalt bring her into thy house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put off the raiment of her captivity, all from her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. This is not an Israelite woman. This is a woman of another nation to go on war against. We can't even mistreat them. And after that, thou shalt go unto her, and then go into her is not open up a bedroom door and walk in. And be her husband. How do you become a husband? You have sex with her. Conjugal rights. And she shall be thy wife. Mentions nothing of the status of the man if he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. This is the war bride. And then he goes on to say, and it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whether she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. That thou not makest merchandise of her because you have humbled her. That's one case law. In this one, second case law. If a man have 2 wives, one beloved and the other hated, kind of like Jacob with Rachel and Leah, and they have borne him children. We can get into the etymology of words and semantics and stuff. The bottom line is 2 wives. Because look what it says. How do you prove that? And the hated, and if the firstborn, let me read this, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be heirs that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit. What did it say? It said inherit. He said said it only says double portion. I told you from the beginning it's the law of inheritance. That which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated, meaning the one that is not fond of, for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion, inheritance, giving him a double portion of all his substance, what he has, of all that he has, for he is the beginning of his strength, the right of the firstborn is his.
30 seconds, sir.
To finish up on Yeshayahu, the 4th chapter, to make sure that you know that it's talking about those women. The 3rd chapter talks about these walking women who minks and tinkling about. And that's how you know the context of that. We get confused because there's chapters and verses in there. When you read it in context, it's talking about those women, those lewd women that went to that man.
Brianna, do you have a teaching on bishops? You mentioned earlier you wanted to cover a teaching on bishops. You have reference.
Yeah, we need to understand what a bishop and I'm sorry.
When you ask for more time, you reference that specifically.
Yeah, it's this is so wide range we cannot. I want to let us talk about that for a moment. Bishops, the pattern of one. Everything must go back to the Bereshit. He can say what he wants to. If a man, he doesn't understand what a preposition or prefix is, it is the antecedent. That is vital to know. You cannot become one that is astute in aerodynamics unless you understand the mathematical consequences of that. You understand? So he can play. He said semantics doesn't matter. That's bogus. Phonetics and all, that's bogus. It does matter. It gives us the semantics, the meanings, the construct of what is said that can convey unto us. You don't go down the road and the semantics say 65 and you do it 85. You do what it says. It's ignorance. Let's deal with this. One, Echad. He says that one means first. He's right. He's right. Of course, he said, I look at everything that he puts up there. Now, he's wrong on that. I don't waste my time with him. But let us deal with one, okay? The concept of one. And we're going to deal with the pattern here in Timotheus, that the bishop or the overseer must be blameless, the husband of one wife. We're going to deal with just that word. It is called mia. I will use the Greek vernacular. There is one that is called leon, but it doesn't deal with one, Echad one. He says first. There are 8 places in Torah that the Torah talks about one or first and what it represents. It always deals with, and after the Shabbat on the first day, he must have one wife. He's not a bishop. He's the death that I am personal. Because he's going to be God. Because we receive not the love of Torah. Yahweh said us strong delusions that we believe a lie. For what reason? That we all will be damned. He's going to damn this wicked generation. But let me read this. He said that the bishop must be the wife or the husband. And we will not deal with Echad or the Hebrew. We will deal with what the Greek says. Mia. One, absolutely no other one, only one. He must be the husband of one wife. Not a polygamous, but one wife. And to give us some kind of dimension of what one is, he must be the husband of one Ishol. Let me give you just a dimension of that. And I want to carry on that after this. Look what it says in Matthew 5:36. Neither shall you swear by your hair, because you cannot make one hair white. Is he talking about 1 or 3 or the first hair? He also says here to Kephah, Matthew 17:4. Then answered Kephah and said to Yahshua, Master, it is tough for us to be here. If you will let us make one sukkah, tabernacle, one Echad, Mia, for you, for Moshe, and also for Elijah. Now this is one. He says here, Matthew 20:12, saying these last 3 have worked for 1 hour. Did they work the first hour, or did they work for 1 hour? It says in Matthew 24:41, 2 women shall be grinded at the mill, and one shall be taken. Shall it be the first one, or shall it be 2 women? It's one. It's Mia. It's one. Yah's explicit. He means what he says. And the pattern goes back to the Bereshit. He can induce all kind of foreign saying. He is wrong. It says, Yahshua in Matthew 26:40, and Yahshua came to the Talmudim, the disciples. And he said, I find them asleep, saying, Kephah, why could you not watch and pray with me 1 hour? Did he mean 2 hours or 3 hours? What did he mean? He meant what he said, 1 hour. Yahshua said before, heaven and earth pass away, not one jot or one tittle. Does he mean 2 or 3? Shall pass from the daughter of Yah. It says in Mark, this poor little widow, and there came a Mia, a certain one, a poor woman to him. Does it mean 2 or 1? It means 1. Throughout the thread of Torah, I can show you. I've examined every verse in this book. He can't shoot that bogus mess on me. He must be the husband of 1 wife. That's disqualify him. He's a liar. He must, and you can search the parameter of the word Mia. It means 1, only 1, precisely 1. It cannot be 2. Let me go a little further. Yohanan 10:16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. That's it? Okay. I'll take this further.
All right. I agree with what he stated about Mia being 1 first. But you have to start from somewhere. You have 1 gray hair. First one comes, then more follows after. That's just the way it is. The word Mia is translated 8 times. Matthew 28, verse 1, Mark 16:2, Luke 24:1, John 20, verse 1, John 20:19, Acts 20, verse 7, 1 Corinthians 16:2, and Titus 3:10. Therefore, the bishop, or a true bishop, must be married to his first wife. No limitations. Nothing there putting any limitations at all. The reason why we see it this way, because when you start off from Genesis and you only see 1, you're going to see 1 throughout the whole of Scripture. You're going to go all the way into the renewed covenant. That's all you're going to see is 1. Because you start off wrong. You start off on the wrong foot, you end in the wrong foot. That's the reason why we see it that day. Because it's not that way. So, also equally, in 1 Corinthians 7:2, it talks about hertun and idios. It says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own hertun. Hertun stresses the exclusively of the possession, wife. And let every woman have her own idios, husband. The exclusively of the relationship. The word for own is singularly possessive. Since I don't know too much about grammar. I'm an ignorant man. I admit that. I promise you I do. And that alone is senses. Elsewhere, it's the phrase, eat his own bread. His own is another's. His own and not another's. The word translated own as a notably different favor is much more like the one which of whom it belongs. Used elsewhere, we see Yahshua return to his own country. But was it just his? Or were there others in that country that possessed that country as well? Mark 6:1, which is also their own country. See, the rest is populated. It's there. So it's about how you apply it. If you start from the beginning, you see it wrong, you'll go through the end and see it wrong. And no matter, you see 2, it'll tell you 1. You go from, that's all you see right here. The spirit of your mind, no matter what's in front of you, that's all you're going to see. Even looking behind the words, that's all you're going to see. I don't believe that the New Testament is Torah. I don't believe that. Not at all. Because it would not refer to it is written if that was Torah. I believe that what they did was confirm Torah. So then, we still are sitting here, hopefully going into the next session, without any answer whatsoever at all of the condemnation. Again, I stated before earlier, and I'm going to state it again. All we need to see is Yah's judgment, his condemnation against sin, the way he does adultery, because if a woman committed adultery, and mind you, that's after her status, a man can't commit adultery with an unmarried woman. What's the penalty for adultery? Death. So equally, if this man is going out here bedding women, we should see the condemnation. We should see the law to tell us. And we still, to this hour, have not seen one condemnation. Not one just yet. I'm still waiting on it. Still waiting on it. So I was mentioned over in Isaiah 3, it goes over into Yeshayahu 4. And we're talking about these women, these silly women that are laden with sins. These women that are lewd, kind of like what we see out here. They walk about mincing and tinkling with their feet. That was the 7 women that man encountered. See, that's context. That's proper interpretation. That's taking it right down the line for what it says and not adding to, nor taking away. This is what this is all about. Makes sense to me. And you know what? Even in the whole of the New Testament, which we just read, a first century historian over here, Josephus, we never once heard the Messiah bring a condemnation of anyone who was participating in the lawful lifestyle of biblical polygyny in the whole, not only the New Testament, but the whole of Scripture. Again, I could be roasted and toasted, fried, dyed, and laid to the side. I could be over with if you just show me one law that condemns it. There's a judgment for it. Because every sin and every transgression will receive a just recompense or reward, and nobody getting by. Because if that's the case, Abraham's in hell. Will be in hell. David is in hell. Moses in hell. Matter of fact, every single patriarch, including the 12 tribes of Israel, they're all going to burn. Every single one of them, if we follow that line of thinking. And I've never once heard y'all rebuke any of them for having more than one wife or many concubines. Solomon is the only one that received the condemnation because he took many treaty wives, according to 1 King Melachim, the 11th chapter, started at verse 1. I yield my time.
All right, that concludes this portion of the debate. At this time, the speakers can take questions. They will both respond. They'll have 2 minutes each. We'll alternate who goes first. To be able to include these questions on the broadcast so that people in the audience who perhaps have the same questions, receive the answers, we're going to ask you to please come up here and I'll hand you the microphone and face the camera so that they can hear the question. Otherwise, they'll hear the answer, but they won't hear the question. Does anybody in the audience at this time, I have a couple of questions that have been sent in, but would anyone like, Elder Austin, come up please. Face Brother Shane and make the question.
My question consists of this. During this debate, I've heard 2 different sides stating that on one side that Yah has not granted the right to have 2 wives, but yet he suffers and permits. And then on the other side, I've heard that there is no law at all that condemns it. Elder Rooks, do you mind reading something, sir?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 7 and 8.
And Nathan said to David, "Thou art that man. Thus saith Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel."
So this is Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, speaking himself. Okay?
"I anointed thee king over Israel. I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul, and I gave thee thy master's house."
So who's doing all of this? It's Yahweh, right?
Yahweh.
Okay?
"And thy master's wives into thy bosom."
So Yahweh said he gave David Saul's wives into his bosom. Not that he permitted it, but Yah himself gave him his wives, right? So I would ask both the men up here to address these verses from their perspective they're coming from. Thank you.
Ralph, would you like to start?
I'll start. It makes a difference. I really would like for us to debate. Let me say this. I said that Yah suffered. He allowed, he permitted, nor did he justify it. The Torah was a mitigator. It mitigated. He said that because of the Dabarim, the promise, unto the Zerah, the seed of Abraham. And in that same context, Yah says this, he continuously say, there is no judgment or condemnation. It comes upon, that's why the people of your hue in the shape that you're in. Yah says this, you shall not bow down yourselves, nor serve the gods, Jesus Christ.
For I am Yahshua, I am, he used the word jealous. Kana. I don't even know what the word means. There's no definitive what the word kana means. He says, I am a jealous Abba. He said, I'm a jealous one. He said, visiting the iniquity, the ovin, the sins of divine Torah. He says, of the fathers upon the children to the third, fourth generation that hates me. So you're telling me we don't hate Yah? That weed, he would have never defied the Torah of Almighty Yah. The Torah mitigated. Now we have the ma'or, the living power of Torah, and the testimony of Yahshua HaMashiach. We don't have to defy the Torah. We have the living principles of Torah in us. It's only because of Abraham. Yah doesn't go back on his word. He is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. That is the only reason. That is, we're trying to justify some kind of crazy marriage that none of them worked. Show me where they worked. All I'm asking you is show me the validity of those men and their seeds, that children were crazy and nutty, killers of each other. That's why the nation is in the shape it's in. It's horrific. That's a fact.
It is. When you start off wrong, like I stated before, that's why it's very hard to comprehend what's going on. I heard him make a statement just a minute ago. I really would like to debate. That's what we should have been doing the last couple of hours. But every time I answer your question, you never once answered mine. That's debating. You had 5 minutes to respond, I respond. But instead, we go off on these tangents and all these other ways in these other arenas, and we dodge the very question. Period. Yah said, I gave. He's making his will known. Point blank. He said he would not alter nor change anything that is gone out of his lips. I am Yahweh thy Elohim, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob not consumed. If Abraham were to be consumed, and guess what? Yahweh never even told the pagan Abimelech, I know you've done this in integrity of your heart. Same thing with Pharaoh. Got Sarah out there real quick, didn't he? Got him out there real quick. You see, it's sticking with the book. Not my personal opinion, not my own personal book of the law. And then let me tell you what it says. Just quote it. Look behind the words. Come to a logical conclusion, hopefully a right one, not a logical conclusion that consists of fallacies. Yahweh spoke, and if he said it, why is it so hard for us to comprehend? He clearly said it himself. You can't change anything that has gone out of his lips. That's how they understood it. If there was a condemnation, Abraham would have never taken Hagar. If there was a condemnation, Moses would have never taken the Midianite, the Cushite, or the Kenite. If there was a condemnation out of which all the tribes of Israel, we're all condemned and going to literal burning hell. Because they came from 4 women. I gave you. Period.
Do we have another question from the audience, please? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Brother Jason here. I'd like to direct this question to Pastor Robert. So you mentioned the concubines were whores, and we know that whores are, by definition, harlot. We know also in 1 Corinthians 6:16, if a man marry himself to a harlot, they are one flesh. So if we know that Yahshua HaMashiach came through David's lineage, so David had concubines. Him sleeping with harlots would make him a whoremonger. We know that Revelation 21:8 tells us that a whoremonger will see the lake of fire. So would you say that the Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, come through a whoremonger's lineage who is Yah in the flesh? You.
Let me answer what he said. Listen, are we a whorish nation? Are we married to Yahshua? Is it every kind of damnable, twisted whoredom, God worship? Pastor Charles Dowell got his own God. The different Baptists got different gods. The black God, the white God. They're all different gods. I'll ask you a question. I reciprocate that. Are we a whorish people? Are we a violent, evil people? Does that mean Yahshua is Yah not married to us? Yahshua still married to us? He is. He is, my friend. What is a concubine? You cannot define words by your own imaginative concept. Philegesh, she's a paramour. She's a whore. Period. That's what she is. And there are things, as I said, Nathan. To suffer or to give is Nathan. It is mean to bestow, to allow, and to permit. That doesn't mean he pleased with that. Did he love the children of Israel when they sacrificed their babies unto the gods of Hinnon? He didn't kill them all, did he? Did he wipe them all out? No, he did not. Because of his chesed, his great kindness. Not the God of Mercury, but because of his great ahava. He has shown us a passionate love. And that's why he gives us one wife, because he has one wife. And he gives a man an Isha, one woman. So is Yahshua a harlot? Is he still married to us? He is. But that doesn't make him a harlot. It's duplicity in that question. It really has no value at all. Is Yah a harlot? He has betrothed us, hasn't he? Has he betrothed us? We are his wife. It is only that the power of Yahshua must enter into our minds, and the love of Yah, which constrain us. We don't love Yah.
Oh, is directing me too?
Yes, sir. Both pastors get to answer.
Oh, okay, good.
Unless they yield.
Can a woman marry another man if her husband dies? The answer is obvious. So we cannot be talking about the Genesis 2:24 account, because if you get no consecutive or spares husbands and wives, you have to stick to the Akkad or one. We've already broken the Genesis 2:24 account then, didn't we? It's proven in the Levirate law. The Levirate law clearly states that if this brother dies and has no seed whatsoever at all, then she will go to his brother. And he's supposed to go in her. And guess what? If he doesn't go into her, a curse is pronounced on his house. What is house? Family. It's simple. It really is. Now, we seem to have a broken and distorted connection between Yahshua and Jesus Christ. I say Yahshua, but all of us in here are speaking English. And it's amazing how we may disagree about what his name is. I know about the pagan God of Sunday. I know about him very well. But Paul said, if somebody comes and preach another Yahshua or another Messiah, you might well bear with them. So we can twist our tongues and say Yahshua. But I do know another thing that Yahshua said. He said in Mark 16:18, these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. I'm going to follow Yeshua, I believe. They shall speak with new tongues. I'm going to follow Yeshua, I believe. The rest you already know.
Do we have another question from the audience? Sir, right there. You'll be next, sir.
Yes, sir. Brother Zach, question is, what is the biblical definition of a concubine, and where is it condemned in the Bible?
Me? Okay. Philegesh, what is a concubine? I will show you the depths of a concubine, her strength, what it means. It is paramour. It is when a man has illicit sexual activities. That's what the word concubine means. He go beyond the peril of his issue, his wife. I want to show you some accounts. I will answer the question. That's what it is. It is just like the master of my great-great-great-grandmammy's days. He made her his wench. He put babies in her because his Miss Mama could not satisfy him. But it says this in Bereshit, and Abraham, listen, and Abraham gave all that he had to Yishmael. But to the sons of the concubines, plural, which Abraham had, Abraham gave matana, he gave gifts or presents. He gave all to the heritage of the house of Israel. And he sent them away from Yishka. They were bastards. That's what they were. Flat out bastards. He sent them away from Yishka, his son, while he yet lived eastward into the east country. I want to read another account. Abraham, after Sarah died, he was buried by no one but Sarah when he died. Nobody else. It says here, Deborah in 1 Chronicles 1:32. Now the sons of Keturah, it says, Abraham's concubine, the whore he had, like a player or a pimp, and also Yahshua and Medan and Mida and Ishmael.
I tell you, it's pretty hard stomaching all this rhetoric. That's exactly what it's just nothing but rhetoric. It's all it is. And to make the assertion, that's all it is, assertion that she's a bastard. Well, the burden of proof is laid upon you, but because it's just not there in the text whatsoever at all. It's an assertion. But anyway, in the whole, he's actually quoted from Bereshit 25. And let's start at go ahead and get to the point, verse 5 and 6. It says, and Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac, but unto the sons of the concubines, which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts. We told you, it's all about status. It's about status. That's what it's about. The wives, they received, their children received an inheritance. The concubines, their children received gifts because they didn't have any inherited status. It's all about status. That's what it's all about. A concubine is not a whore. It defines whoredoms. The whoredoms is quickly laid out, is keenly laid out in Lahikla 18. It speaks about all the uncleanness, which the nations do. The nations commit whoredoms. You commit whoredoms if you do it, if you lay with your wife during her cleaning time. That's whoredoms. That's whoredoms, which is commonly called and defined fornication. Let's just get it right. Let's just stick with the book. Let's stick with the book. A concubine is someone who lacks inherited rights.
All right, sir, I believe we had another question that was holding.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Brother Yuri. Brought my book because I wrote a little bit. Every person of the book, correct me if I'm wrong, for the exception of Yahshua, Adam and Eve were born in this sin according to Scripture. This applies equally to all men of the book, everyone in this room, none of whom lived from beginning to end without sin. We are, in fact, descendants of ancient Hebrews, some of whom clearly practiced polygyny. Are you saying that none of the men of the book who had multiple wives, concubines, produced any good fruit? And are you proved to be stronger and more fruitful than David and Abraham, who you described as weak and cowardly?
To me? Yes. First of all, the question. Listen, Israel, are we students of the Torah? Look at David's house. A chaotic mess. The only thing can restore is Yahshua. His sons, murderers, killers, and the kingdom has never been a kingdom. Shlomo realized that his heart turned away from the Most High. This day, the wisest man, it takes something powerful. All gods are the same. The God is of the same strength. Every God is the same. It makes no difference at all. That's why we have the manifestation of Torah in Yahshua. And the word of Yah was bara. It was made. And Yah suffered with man. That's why we see that in the beginning. He permitted, he allowed. Although he did not condone that. He allowed the woman to be rebellious. He allowed that, sure he did. He could have eviscerated them and began afresh and anew. We sin, my friend, that has nothing to do with polygamy. We can see the death and the death of it. we can see what constitutes this man. He speaks with duplicity called you that are the dark, you Israel. And he denounced or he denied white people as being that. You understand? Because his linguistics says that. You understand? That's what he is saying. And so how is it? As this man, David would tell you, in the 613 laws, you will find no law of polygamy. It talks about one wife. The 613 laws, scripture Keats-based scholars, there is not one statue of wisdom that speaks to having multiple wives. Not one. You can't find it. Show me one, please.
Well, he has to show you one. I'll show you one. Exodus 21:10. I showed you one. There it is in the whole of Torah. I mean, yes, we're all born in sin. And our people, the assertion is that there's no fruit, no righteous fruit. But if we're going to go back to the law of the beginning, then we have to start with the alleged life of Adam then. Because from him come we all. And that's where sin, iniquity, and transgression. So to lay and to actually say that these people's lives are condemned because they had more than one wife is an assertion. That's all it is. The truth is, they had problems because they transgressed the commandments. And they ate the fruit of it. Just like you eat the fruit of it. That's why there's disease prevalent among us. We have not one diseased person on straightway. Not one of us is on any prescription drugs. Not a one. All the way from the elderly, all the way down to a 3 or 4 month old child. How many other siblings can say that? They can probably say that because they live set apart. They can say that because they live set apart. And we have people come from all over this earth to come to get healed, delivered. Just this year, 3 people have gotten healed of incurable venereal disease verified by doctors. I wonder if they can say that.
No, I can't see.
That's because the Holy Spirit is not there. Or the Ruach. The Ruach is not there. Because that's the power of Yah. And you white people, I don't designate, I said Europeans. Do you know there are black people in Europe? So when I say the Europeans, I'm not just designating just one group of people by saying white. So don't you white people be tricked in I'm some type of racist fanatic. I said Europeans. No, we're answering questions.
That's up to the sponsor.
Let him rebut.
You have 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, this man talks about the Rapha. He is Yarapha, the healer. That's his name, Yarapha. That's a wicked lie. Someone with venereal disease. This man has performed no organic healing. That's a lie. He has not. He's just like Benny Hinn. They all were Benny Hinn and T.D. Jakes got more healing than them. Who has gotten out their wheelchair and walked? That's a fact. I've known this man longer than you. I rebuked him many years ago with the lies like that. Everything is invisible, what he calls himself healing. She had an invisible thing. Have you seen those that are lame and crippled gotten up with this man? You're a lie. You haven't seen that. That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. All robbers perform no organic healing. There is not one organic healing that has any records in the annals of time, but through Yahshua and those that began to walk in that truth. He has no organic healing. He has no organic healing. No whatsoever. That's it. Not one bit. Period. I want to read this quickly. He said, how much? Okay, fine. In the 613 laws, it talks in Genesis 8:128 to have one's wife, just one wife. In Leviticus 18:20, you can have sexual relationship with no one else's wife. It talks about a high priest must marry a virgin, a Beth-Ulah, Leviticus 21:13. The high priest must not have sexual relationship with the widow outside of a marriage. And not only that, where is it that Yah gives the credence of concubines and more than one wife? It doesn't say that. In no place in the katuv, in the hook of Yah, he instructs us or commands us. He has no healing power. There's no healing in your Jesus' name. It's a damn white lie. There's no healing, none whatsoever. Period. Period. No healing whatsoever. Kohen must not marry a woman that is a whore. He cannot marry a woman like that.
You yielded a rebuttal, so you received one.
Okay.
2 minutes.
That's right. I don't have of my own self no power to do anything. But the one that is in me, he does. He is the one that doeth the work, and not I. And with an unbelief, you can say, he asked him. Somebody asked the question, did he see me and his wife? Ask him, did they see me cast a devil of depression out of a woman in a Pentecostal church? They can call it what they want, but it didn't take an hour either. Seconds. Unclean spirits cried out with a loud voice as they came out of him. He saw it for himself. Still to the day, denied. So in other words, you're not going to do anything with unbelief. Nothing whatsoever at all. You can't say a thing against unbelief, because an unbeliever is an unbeliever. And the priest, as far as marriage, the priest, the way I understand it, was Levites. Some of you claim to be from Judah. That means that law is not for you. It's simple. It really, truly is simple to explain it. And if you want to know, Hezekiah 44, verse 18 through 23, read it. Cross references Leviticus 21:7, Leviticus 21:13 and 14, and Numbers 4, verse 1. It's simple. He's told the truth. I personally, on my own self, have healed no one. But greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And what I need to do, I can bring the verification, and it still won't be good enough. He'll say the doctor's a liar. I yield my time.
Yes, sir. You yield your time. Ma'am, you have the next question. Right here. And then you'll be next, ma'am.
Greetings, shalom. Certainly giving honor to the Father and to Messiah, to all ordained leaders, particularly to my husband, Pastor Murray, in his absence. The question is primarily for Pastor Roberts. I was, like many of us, I think, hoping for a clear text condemning polygyny as sinful. You haven't offered that, but you have staked essentially your entire argument on an assertion of a strict monogamy doctrine from the beginning, from Genesis. I agree with most of us that the Genesis narrative does clearly show complementarity, sexual complementarity of male and female. But I'm yet unconvinced that there's any doctrine or restriction on the number of females. In particular, my question is this: how many ribs does an adult male have? If you don't know, I'll simplify the question. Is it one or greater than one?
That's to me.
Yes, sir.
I won't even dignify that, you understand. The Torah from the Bereshit of all things, I ask you this question. I reciprocate with the question. Does the sun shine, rises in the east and set in the west? Is that the Torah of the sun? Was that set from the beginning? I will show you our ignorance. Does it set in the east, rises in the east and set in the west? Yah ordained that, didn't he? Did he ordain day and night? He ordained that. He ordained the Shabbat, the Shabbaton. Does that change? All of that in the Bereshit of all things. He established marriage in the beginning. A man and a wife. You have not shown me a Torah of wives. This man keeps saying that there is no Torah of multiplicity of concubines. These men, because Yah suffered them. They went according to their minds and doing their thing is what they did. You tell me that Yah saw that we taking Uriah's wife? Was there a Torah for him to take her? Was there a Torah? It was no Torah. That is such simplicity of wisdom. That has no bearing on this. I'm a strong man, I know that. I'm a servant of Yah. There's no healing in the wicked name of Jesus. And he talks about that healing. That little Jezebel got up, dressed like a whore, and she went doing her thing. No demon came out of that little slut. I looked at her. That's what she is. And that's what she was. She was dressed like a wicked whore. Isn't that amazing? We don't want to call sin, sin. And darkness, darkness. We don't want to do that. Did Yah set the moon in its place? Has it moved? Answer that. Did Yah set the sun in its place? There's no Torah that speaks of that.
That's your time, sir.
I'm an ignorant man. I don't know how many ribs I have. I know there's quite a few, though. I could say 24 and be right, but I could be wrong. I could say 28, but I'd be shooting in the breeze. Wow. So Moses wrote the Torah of his own mind, doing his own thing. That's the assertion. I heard that. That's what was said. Yet we're instructed not to go about doing our own will. Isn't that amazing? So, all of you who claim to be Israelites, when you leave this place, you take the book of the law and find the nearest trash can and throw it in there. Because it's written of its own. Every man wrote it of their own mind. That's what he asserts. Literally. And it's nonsensical. It makes no sense whatsoever at all. So, how many ribs we got? Am I close? 24. Oh, that's correct. Oh. I guess I answered your question.
Can I get a rebuttal? Sister. Can I have 1 minute? I think we know how many ribs we have. Let me have a rebuttal. I want to address that what he just said, please.
Come on with your questions.
We're in the questions portion, sir.
I'll answer on this one.
Hakadesh Baruhu, that means blessed is he, the Holy One. Blessed is he, correction. We have a problem in our community that the men are getting shot, the men are in jail, the men are turning into faggies, the men are weak. So the women are like, I don't want to deal with any of them. And we're just wanting to, know what the solution is. So this question is for both of y'all. What is the solution when you have, in these last days, the men are they just want to have, whore around. They want to just have another man. We as women feel hopeless and feel like there is no solution to finding a good man, someone that is kind and caring and a good helpmate. Well, the woman is a helpmate, but a good man, I'll just say.
That's fine. Let me say this, my friend. There was one mother named of Anaya. Her name was Hannah. She was a widow for 84 years. That's what you do. And she stayed in Beit Yisrael praying and fasting, and told everyone she was seeing the beauty of the message of Yah and the promise unto Israel. That's what you do. Just like the mother of the 7 sons. What a man finds, he never told you will find a husband. A man that finds a wife, an Ishur, he finds an excellent thing, and he has favor. You make yourself ready and beautiful, and a man will find you, an Ishur will find you. Let us go back to him. He made a statement that Moshe was a Torah giver. This was the same man that repudiated Yah when he smote the rock instead of speaking to it. Did he do it of his own will? When Yah said, cry, and the rock, Yahshua, we're smiting Yahshua. We're smiting him. And when we have men that raise up men and instruct them and then teach them, there will be sons to marry. How many daughters are there anyway? Tell me. I do agree with him on one thing, communal construct. I buy that wholeheartedly, because you can raise up strong men that love Yah and daughters of Sion that are clean and kadosh and set apart. So Moshe struck the rock, Yahshua. Did he do that? Did he do it of his own accord? He did it of his own hafidz, his own will, his own haron. He did it of his own pleasure. That's what he did. He defied Yah. He went totally diametrically opposed to what Yah commanded him to do. Do like Anayah. Stay in Yah's house and seek his face. Is that it? Yes. He will bless you.
Shalom, sister. You're right. We're decimated as a people. The young men are being killed, incarcerated at an extraordinary rate. The wives, the women are being abandoned. Homosexuality is running rampant. It's an abomination. The solution, I've got one. Y'all want to hear? Yes, sir. All the crappy women will get the crappy men. And all the good women, or the beautiful daughters of Zion, will get the good men. The crappy women will get the bad men, and the good women will get the good men. That's the solution. You know why? Because yet he is still yet to prove by Torah, Scripture, the whole, he calls all of it Scripture, the condemnation of this lawful lifestyle. And then, you know what? He just used the example of Hannah. My mind's reeling in here. I could be wrong now, but Hannah had Samson. Samuel, is that right?
And in the New Testament.
I was assuming he was talking about the one over in the Old Testament. You know what I mean?
Her name was Anayah, but it's Hannah.
So you're speaking from the one in the New Testament. Oh, okay. I missed that then, because you know where I was going from there, right? Yes, sir. But the answer is that just like in the time of war in Israel, when we had come out of Mizraim, and when we would replenish ourselves as a nation, it's lawful. Again, 22,273 families in Israel. And when you do the math, 27 children in one family. And when you included women, 54. I don't care what you say, a woman can't bear 54 children. If she does, she probably die at 30. If she make it there. Are you on my time?
We have another question from the audience. Sir, if you'll please come up front. I wanted to expound on that just a minute ago of what has gone on with the federal government and the programs that they've had for areas in the inner city. That
It's a debate between us, sir. You're the moderator. You're not supposed to inject. You're supposed to, no. Let us do this. You're not supposed to inject, sir. You're the moderator. How can you?
You're the sponsor. Can I inject?
Huh?
Well, actually, he's right.
You're the moderator. Sit down. Wow.
Shalom, family. I have a series of questions. The first one is, if you have multiple wives, what is the hierarchy, and what should the relationship be between the first wife and the wives coming in, or concubines? Pastor Dowell.
They both get the answer, but go Pastor Dowell.
I want to. Okay. Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31. Starting at verse. Read.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ship. She bringeth her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her handmaid.
There it is. The order is that the principal wife, the first wife, she is the one that is laid out in Scripture that the man is charged not to deal with treacherously. She is the one that possesses the actual structure, the power and the structure of the actual women itself. Why do you know that? Yah told Hagar, you go back and submit yourself unto Sarah. She's not to be replaced. She's not to be diminished. You cannot make her the status of a servant and bring up the one that is hate, or the one that is love, above the one that is hated. She's the principal wife. And these maidens are people that is in her house. You can use women, wives, maidens. The English just picks and chooses whatever way it wants to go at any given time, the way it wants to yield its sword. I yield time.
That is a false statement. It talks about the maiden. It's talking about the Nahara, a young slave or a servant. She has many young daughters that help her in the preparation of things. You notice that the wife, she rises early. She attends to the young girl that's a servant, teaching her the beauty of a man, of a woman, so that her husband will be well spoken of in the gates. Yisrael. That's a delusion of a lie. I want to speak, as he made mention, of Hannah, Elkanah, her husband. It says in 1 Samuel, and he, which is Elkanah, he had two wives. Now let's look at this. And the name of one was Hannah. She was the mother of Samuel, Hannah. And the name of the other was Peninnah. She had children, but Hannah had no children. This was during the time of three of the most violent evil men. Habnai, Pinahas, and Eli. They were wicked men laying with the daughters. Y'all killed them all. They were sleeping with the daughters of Zion. It says in 1 Samuel 1:4, and when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave Phinehas his Ishah and all her sons and her daughters a portion, just a ration. He gave them a manna. There is no inheritance. It says, but to Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved her. For he loved her. But Yah had shut up her wombs. He loved her. That is what the maiden is. She's a young girl that serves in the house. She loves them, that instructs her, and she obeys them. That's not a concubine or another wife. That's bogus.
Do we have a way that just people on the internet is asking questions? Do you know?
I have some here.
You'll
Back to the brothers and see if they want me to speak.
Shalom, Israel. My name is Brother Arcilio. Shalom. I just have one question. Why is it that the Honorable Pastor Dowell answered every question that was asked, and quite well and thorough? And why is it that none of Pastor Dowell's questions were answered?
That's your assumption, my friend. You notice how he addressed him. The Honorable Pastor Dowell. And so that alone, that's why I didn't make mention I would be here. I didn't want anyone to come. You see how he answered that? And why you haven't answered him? Because your mind is shut. You have been drilled with this. You believe him. He has not substantiated anything. We must go back to the Bereshit of all things. I say again, is there a Torah for the sun? Is there a Torah for night and day? Is there a Torah for the moon? Is there a Torah for the birth of a woman? Is there a Torah of life? Sure it is. It's a fact. And he's honorable to you. You would receive me if I answer you with 10,000 words, because you're not going to comprehend, because it is diametrically opposed to this man. And you think you love him, and you really don't. And that's a fact. Oh, you know, one thing about love, it repudiates. Yah loves us, doesn't he? Does he rebuke us? He chasten us. Whom the Father loves, he chastened them. He corrects them. So don't give me that bogus mess. He corrects us. He repudiates us. He tells us our ills. So you're not going to hear me. In your mindset and your logics, I have not answered anything, because it's diametrically opposed to him. You can't do this in another session like this. It can't be done. I will teach on this. I don't want to waste my time, because here it is, the people of my hue. He called the people the N-words. He hasn't raised a son that is a strong man. That's a fact for a daughter of Zion. So let us, come on, Yisrael, you teach them the Torah and the prophets, you will raise strong sons. I will never denigrate the people of my hue. I know they're wicked, just like white people are wicked as hell.
Again, y'all just saw another professional tap dancing. And I'll tell you what, honorable Brother Arcilio. Why do you say that, Pastor Dowell? Because the book teaches us to honor all men. There's nothing disparaging. There's nothing wrong with honoring those. Nothing at all, whatsoever at all. Honor the king. I tell you, this doctrine is amazing. And everyone that is sitting under them, they got a cancerous mindset and a cancerous attitude. There's no wonder they're void of any spirituality whatsoever at all. Listening to this rhetoric, you would do well. You would do well, take heed to yourselves and mark this man. That's what you would do. That's the best thing you can do, because this man is full of envy, full of debate, full of strife, full of jealousy, full of rage. And you're right. He's never going to answer it, even if you quote the word, because remember, the Torah was made up of men who made this stuff up of their own minds.
Do we have any additional questions from the audience, brother? Sir, right there.
Shalom. My question is brief. In Ezekiel, Yah refers to the two divisions as his wives, and he gives one divorcement, and then he sends the other into exile in Babylon. My question is, do you believe that the righteous Yah would use an illustration of abomination to describe himself?
That's to me. Sure, certainly he will. Yahshua said in Revelation, Giliana, he said to Jezebel, I'm going to kill Harai. I'm going to kill. Does he kill? I'm going to kill, Harai, destroy. He used the word children, but that is death. The ones that suck the titties of the mama. He said, I'm going to kill your children. He suffered Yisrael to offer their children to the gods of the valley of Hinnom. He didn't wipe them all out. He has one wife. Where Echad, he made a man, he made a woman. And when they're joined together, they become Echad. They become one. And that's a mystery. We don't understand the depths of that. There is no Torah of multiple wives, my friend. There is no Torah of concubines. He honored these men by the promises of his mouth. He suffered them to do violent things against him. Did he suffer Moshe to smite Yahshua? Sure he did. But he didn't kill him. We can see the curse as this man said, look at the people of the hill. So that negates you white people as being Yisrael. He said that the Europeans came and butchered the people of our color. And he called them one of the most deplorable names that you can pronounce upon a man. I don't give a damn how wicked you are. There's constitution and restitution in the dam of Yahshua HaMashiach for the nation, the elect. The ball here, he's going to save a remnant. And so certainly he does. This woman is a whore. He has one woman. Ephraim and Yahudah will be joined together.
That's your time, sir.
Again, man chooses to sin. He makes a choice and decision to sin. And again, he said there's not one scripture in Torah. I'll say it again. Shemot 21:10. And he continues to keep using the word suffer as if permitted. Let's Sirach 15:20, one more time.
He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin.
Israel was in that condition, period, because they have fallen away from Yah and served other gods. And they received punishment for doing that. He didn't want them to. He gave them a command. He says, you choose you this day whom you gonna serve. And they made up their mind who they're gonna choose. And as a result of it, they bit the fruit of that. And if the suffering of anything is because of them allowing sin to be permitted in their lives. But then again, we have a lot of assertions, but we still have not saw that law, that one law that condemns a man for having more than one wife, or even concubines as far as that's concerned. Haven't seen it yet. And the word nigger, you've read it before in the book of Acts. Don't let people take that away from you. It's not a negative connotation like they've taught you. I'll teach on that. They have used reverse psychology against you to take away something from you. Yes, it is. It is. It says nigger or Niger. It's Niger in there, but go look behind it again. We'll talk about Israel. Just thought we'd go ahead and add a little something to it. But somebody calling me a nigger, it doesn't offend me at all.
Robert Lee Easterling from Middletown, Pennsylvania. My question is, or it would be an action. I need you to prove to me, because I really haven't heard anything that's come out of your mouth. You're talking about white people being ignorant or being wicked. I need you to lay hands on the nearest white person and cast out the devil. That's what I need you to do. I need to see it in the room. Because Pastor Dowell has actually, he's done it. He's laid hands on and he's cured diseases. But that would be a test that I'd like to see. I'd like to see it proven to me. Then then I can see your authenticity. I can see it.
Isn't this amazing as his quotation? Uncomprehensible then. I said to us in the beginning, there is no such creature as a white man, neither as a black man. So he cannot identify with that specificity that he's white. That's what I said, my friend. I did not say that white people are evil. What I'm saying to you, all white, you know, the white mind is one of the most destructive things there is. It's an arrogant, hubris mind. It's the white Jesus. That's a fact. They are, Yah says, as much as we have opportunity, do tough unto all men. You treat all men right. I don't care what they look like, the complexion of their skin tone, that has no relevance. As far as people with that skin tone, we have them living at Teshua. You understand? We have them living in Teshua. So it has nothing to do with that idiotic statement you just made, my friend. That was not the context of what I said. Again, we go back to this man's suffering. Yah says this, that you said, there is nowhere where I say Yah commanded us to hata, to sin, to break the Torah. I did not say that. I did not imply that. But Yahshua said, they say to him, why did Moshe then command to give or write a hatab, a writing of divorcement, and to put away your wife? He says to them, Moshe, because of the hardness of your Levim, suffered. Because you were evil and sadistic. Because he suffered that. He suffered you to put away your wife. But from the beginning, it was not so. It was not so. He suffered your Nathan. Simply, he bestowed that upon the people he loved so. It's almost like a man letting his wife get by with him, or the wife with her husband.
Well, y'all see what's been going on, right? I mean, the question is produce a sign. That's what I heard. Produce a sign. And I'm not going to say that your question is an ignorant and stupid and whatever superlatives you want to add to it in order to demean your character or something like that. But I'll say this, brother, that the book says an evil and adulterous generation will seek after a sign. But there will be no sign given unto it except the prophet Jonah. That's what it says. And then it also says, these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name, they shall cast out devils. So if we know Yahshua and you're in his name, cast them out. In my name, they shall cast out devils. That's what he said. And that was the question pertaining to, wasn't it? And so this man has already admitted he doesn't have Yahshua. Are you on my time?
Yes. Thank you. So the question that I have is, I'm a young millennial, and
Say it again, sir?
I'm a young millennial.
Millennial.
Yes, sir. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I've understood that the Treaty of Tripoli states that in Article 11 that the United States is not founded in any Christian religion. So with that being said, what good is it to have more than one wife in a Western world region like this that doesn't even respect Yah's word? And I've watched some of your videos where you've addressed MGTOW, men going their own way, and I've adopted that because I've seen that there's women of today have adopted an ideology that's not of God. And so it's become harder, and I've witnessed it's become even harder for men of God to find a pure wife. So once you do have a wife and then you find that you want to do polygamy, more than one, what good is it to do it here to begin with?
Again, everybody has redefined marriage. We're not here to redefine marriage because every covenant is its own. The women are not married to each other. The man is married to each wife. That's it. They're still on one. All right? In this society right here, again, you have no more than to look as what's done happened to us as a people. A toll is being taken against us through incarceration, homosexuality, and if we continue to keep going, we've already done decline as a people in this country. And now I'm speaking particularly to people of a hue. We're low on the scale now and becoming even lower. We're dying like flies, especially in Chicago, Pastor Tatum. And this system has no solution whatsoever at all. You know why? They don't want a solution. The Bible says you'll be brought into Egypt again by ships. And the same thing that Pharaoh did way back then by wanting to kill and murder our firstborn, our children, our men. It's the same thing that's going on now with the eugenics program. It's the same thing that is going on now with all the drugs being planted in our neighborhoods. But if you adopted MGTOW, brother, you're not a man, and I'm not being angry or vindictive towards you because you're not showing yourself as a status of being able to be responsible of your duties. Because the doctrine of MGTOW is to use a woman for their own pleasure, but not take the responsibility of taking care of her. Am I right? Yes or no? Thank you very much. I yield.
Again, he makes a statement that exclude you that are the cream hue of color. He quoted Dibarim, that you will be brought into Mizraim. It's an ignorant conception of knowledge of what he teaches. It's not knowledge. You'll be brought. That doesn't include the people of your hue that call yourself white. I want to direct this to your questions, a young man. It says this in Shirach. Listen. To the fornicator and the whoremonger, all bread tastes sweet. Every sexual encounter, they want some more of that. He will never cease until he dies. He's going to promote this line. I've watched men do it before his time, the Midianites, and the one there in Damona, he said he wasn't going to die. You notice how long he said he's going to live. He's a liar. And if he dies before then, he's a super liar. All right? He said 134. Listen, young man. He said a man who breaks, all right, now hear this, his marriage vows. Are there marriage vows? He said in the secular sense, in this monolithic, you got to have marriage vows. Well, you know, I'm going to marry her, and such is the consummation. He said, a man that breaks his marriage vows says to himself, who sees me? Darkness around me, and the walls hide me, and no one sees me. Why should I fear the Most High? Will not take notice, nor remember my sins. Such a man only fears the eyes of man. He does not know the eyes of Yah are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. They look upon all of his ways, my friend, and perceive even the most secret places. This is what an adulteress says, and a fornicator. And this is what women, I'm telling you, daughters, listen to me. When women have that kind of low esteem, there are men out there. There are men that love Yah and strong. I watched them in Teshua community, and they have waited 5, 6, 7 years for a wife of their youth. And they wait on them, and they're not out gangbanging and pumping women.
Can I have, I'm asking for the first time for a rebuttal. Jeremiah 29, verse 4. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, and to all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem to Babylon, build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, and that they may be increased there and not diminished. That's what we should be doing. That's exactly what we should be doing. And again, if you start off on the wrong foot, looking at this as exclusive monogamy, when again, this is, he's made it known. He's 62 years old. But man, I tell you what, he's pretty good at dodgeball. Very good at dodgeball. He knows how to twist, warp, and get around and all that, saying nothing. The whole entire time saying nothing. Nothing at all. I yield my time.
All right, we'll have a gentleman right here, and then in the front row next.
Can I get a rebuttal?
Yes.
He made an assumption. He's been very presumptuous. I play basketball, my friend. Still tough at that. He made a statement. He's right. That we as a nation of people, collectively, we should procure the wives for our sons, that they will have wives. We should be strong-ish to set the pattern of the example. That's all Jeremiah was saying. Strong men that are powerful and that they are strong. They have, do that, my friend. They have what we call the maturation. They have the strength. And when they walk in a place, everyone notice. When they go, everyone notice. And when they walk with their ish, come here. They notice them. See how she walks crippled? That takes care of her. I've been married nearly 40 years. Never lied to her. Never. Didn't have to lie about money or anything because we had none. Never hung out with anyone but her. Everywhere I went, she went. I've never lied to her. And believe me, my friends, believe me, never intrigued her wrong. A wife is a precious gem. She is your Ezra, man. And we should train the daughter. That's why the women should teach the young women how to love their husband. Women don't know how to love men. She said to me, I said, with 15, I knew I was going to marry you. She said, you didn't know what love was? I said, I did. I would marry no other woman. And I could have married a bunch of them. It still could if I could have 10. That is no problem. And because of that great love, I've never hidden anything from her. That's what she should do. Teach the young women to be beautiful, to get a man. And a man is a man, not a little boy. He's a man of strength. He is the champion of Yah. He goes with the Torah in his mouth. And he stands with a great koach, a great power. And when he walks in a place, everybody notice. When he stands in the midst of strangers and men, he doesn't need a 45 on his waist. He got truth.
Sir, the question right there.
We have a question from the internet, and it is toward both pastors. Do you call yourself and your community after the name of Jacob or Yisrael? And if polygyny is unlawful, why do you use this name?
You want me to answer?
Well, yes. I mean, Jacob is Israel, and Israel is Jacob. Simple. And what was the other part? Or something about?
And if polygyny
is
unlawful,
well, that's not me. I yield my time.
Why do you use this name?
We are Yahshua community, meaning the victory of Yah in Yahshua HaMashiach. You know the relevance of that. I mean, what is the application really, honestly? Tell me. So I am not one that loves Yah because I will not buy into this bogus lie of polygamy or polygamy. It's a lie. It is not, and it will not restore the nation. Again, I use and emphasize the nation of China. Great poverty, the infrastructure is lost. I use the nation of India to say the multiples of people and the growth of people. And they have a volume of people in Indonesia and all of those places. And yet there is no permanent place for them or any such thing. And they have done it by one wife. Yah said that he will multiply the zerah of Abraham. If you can number the sands of the sea, you can number the nation of Israel. He speaks from a myopic, small opinion of what Torah. You don't know the people of Yah. You take 12 seeds from the Baraskas family. You take them and you sling them here. You can't find one seed and tell me a Dutch flathead from a broccoli seed. You can't tell me. You don't know what the people of Yah are. They're hidden. And he promised there will be billions of us. And to relegate us just to this little violent, evil nation is sadistically evil. And they're walking in truth. So yes, I go by Yisrael, simply meaning that I prevail.
Shalom, Israel. Brother Mike from New York. I have a question of if Yahshua was married and she was a virgin and she married Joseph, and he didn't go into her until after Yahshua was born, then where did his older brother come from?
Can you hold on? Give me clarity on that. You said that Yahshua came from Miriam.
Yeah, as a virgin.
Okay, and you're saying he was commanded to marry her, right?
Yes, sir.
And when that happened, what happened? She was found what?
She didn't go into.
No, answer that, my friend. Before he consummated, he was married. Betrothed is a marriage.
Well, he's not there to be lectured. He's there to ask a
I'm
question.
not trying to get clarity, man.
You never try to answer the question. You should get clarity on the question.
I'm speaking clarity.
Rather than trying to direct
If you
your
will,
answer
well, he's wrong in his assumption.
Go again.
The question is that when Jesus came, when Yahshua came, his mother was Mary, and she was a virgin when Jesus was in her. And his father, which is Joseph, didn't go into her till after Yahshua was born. He had an older brother named James. Where did the older brother come from? That's the question.
Let me answer that. He had brothers, Yahshua. He was born of the birth of the Ruach HaKodesh. When he was commanded to marry Miriam, she was found with child. And the Torah said he thought to put her away privately. It was a marriage commanded by Almighty Yah. And when a man was betrothed unto the daughter, that was her husband. That's what betrothed means. He was already, and what the sexual application, it was the consummation because he must pay the dowry, and that is the seal or the marriage license. He had to pay the dowry, and she will bring the cloth that shows that she was a Bethul. She had not had a man. And so after that, he didn't put her away. He did not put her away. How could he put her away? How could he put her away if she was not his wife? She was his wife, you understand? That's why we must get clarity on words. We speak from our Baptist background and our Pentecostal and just a garden cries. We don't know. He had brothers. Yahshua HaMashiach, by the seed of Yosef. Are we not Achim, brothers? We got different mothers and fathers, but we are Achim. We've been birthed by the Ruach of Yah, the Spirit of Yah. Are we not brothers in the Chofchim? Are we not? Okay. So that's how that is. Hallelujah.
He's right in everything that he said up until the point about the seed of yourself. That's exactly where it comes from. But because the text is vague, it's vague. He still dodged the issue to say that Yosef had more than one wife. He dodged the issue because, that's just it. Now, I myself am going to exercise pause and not do any assertions until I first study on that. And I'll get back with everyone with an answer. I don't want to answer something that I have what I believe personally, but we're not here for my personal beliefs. Is that all right? Yes. All right, good.
This question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joel. I came from Long Island, and I came because Pastor Dowell invited everyone. My question is towards you. You said you didn't bring anybody. Is it because you were scared? And why? The only thing you've done is insult this man, and you haven't debated him today. Why?
You said I've insulted him? You said you came because of Pastor Dowell. I understand. No problem with that. It is one thing that, he said to be civil and to have a civil agenda. Well, civil is not just being all polite in what you think it should be, my friend. It is not to be friendly, and I'm not here to be friendly with him. As I said, I've known him before you. I've shown him friendship over the years. Let him tell you, I came and built this tabernacle. I laid the blocks. The shower house he had, I built that. You understand? So I've shown this man, I've shown him friendship. So don't give me that bogus mess, but I will denounce his superficial lies. I would denounce them. So I knew him before any of you all. He visited Teshua community? Yes, I did. Before you. You're the only one that knew him before I did. You're the only one. All right. He came to Teshua community, and he would come almost once a month. I would show him friendship. I'm still going to whip him in some basketball. Still want to shoot some three-pointers with him. And that has nothing to do with that. I've answered the questions. You have shut your mind because you don't want to hear what I got to say. You're here to prove him. I don't care what you say, you're here to prove he's right. We're here to prove Torah's right. This is the only one that asked a legitimate question, this young man here. It was not partiality. It shows no partialness. She asked me, how many ribs you have? I don't know. I weigh 250 pounds. I'm a big man. I can feel them, though. And I eat well. You see, so that's why you are his people. I intend for it to be that way. I'm a giver. I'm a warrior. I bring a sword to kill. I bring a sword to call harag. So you're going to be partial against me. That's all right with me, my friend. I can bear that. I'm not offended. So what I say is not going to mean anything to you all.
Well, I've just got a few things to say here. That's the first time I met him. First time I met him. And as far as the allegations of actually building the tabernacle, yes, he did come. I laid the foundation. He laid half of the blocks and left. I finished it.
You're a lie.
Brother Shames, he appealed to you.
Don't tell the lie, Shames.
The shower house, I laid the foundation.
All the blocks.
He laid all the blocks to the shower house.
Yeah.
And then it's my turn. All right? And so, hey, I'm telling the truth. And so now, watch this. Many of you have been to Straightway, right? Yes, sir. And you saw his work on the shower house. Yes, sir. There's nothing to brag on. I've got to literally destroy the whole thing and actually build it again. Now, you've seen the buildings I have laid. Are any of them like that? I'll finish. I yield my time.
You know you lied.
I didn't lie at all. You laid half.
All right, John. Anything further? You had an indication earlier so that you might have another question. Have you been satisfied? Or? Yeah, I've been satisfied. Okay. Is there anyone else here in the audience? Do you have any questions for back in the community? All right, that concludes our question portion at this time. Thank you all for attending, and we appreciate everybody here. Thank you for attending. Dawid, Pastor Dowell, thank you for sponsoring the debate.
So there's no closing remarks?
That was actually the conclusion earlier. Oh. But if you would like to have closing remarks, we could do that.
I'd like for him to go ahead.
How many minutes for each?
10 minutes is fine.
10 minutes for each?
Yes, sir.
You have the floor.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You know, it's quite amazing that the people of Yah, that we are forever learning, but never able to come. The word come is bo, to enter into the Da'ats, the Torah. We're always learning. We got fabulous as this man, he must question. He said that the book is somewhat jilted. Yah's Torah is forever settled in the heavens. He watches over. And that's the case. Throw the book away. It is either all imat, whole imat, or it is one of the most damnable, defiled lies upon the face of the earth. And to make a suggestion of that nature, to say that Yah does not, he speaks of Moshe and all these men, all of their sin, they were honorable men. And to think that Yah doesn't watch over the Torah, it is dismal, it is a man of sickness. Then how is he casting out demons? He said he's casting out demons. It is a mirage of fallacy, it's falsehood.
Of a truth.
It is a falsehood.
Of a truth.
Yah watches over his Torah. He watches over his word. Yahshua is the Torah made bara. He has been created in the excellence of the book. From Bereshit to Gilyana. From Bereshit to Gilyana. And there was something there that you do not see, will be called duplicity of marriages or double marriages in the Brit Hadassah. Because those men had come to the wisdom of Torah. They had not seen the progression of Yisrael. He's going to get 4 or 5 wives. You're not going to see the progression of a community or anything. You're going to see death. You're going to see death. You're going to see just like what happened with Benjamin over there in Demona. And all of these men, listen, there was some years ago a very beautiful young man. He was regal. He was tall. He was handsome. His name was Achramon. He was a medical doctor. He had been in college 13 years. He was in his internship as a doctor at the hospital. He said to me, Riak, they brought a camera and recorded every one of my steps. He says to me, Riak, I said, Ramon, he was 33 years. Why are you not married? He said, the women are crazy. They're twisted and they're nutty. Because we have an agenda that is not of Yah. It's not about what we call riches. Let me tell you the riches of Yah. They are the Oshir. That's what a man is beyond happy. He has the riches of the Ma'or. He rejoices. He delight in the pleasantry of the fellowship of Yisrael. He has the riches of the presence of Yah. That's what riches are. That's what it is. That he enjoyed those kinds of riches. He enjoyed the delight of the fellowship. Behold, how tough and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together. There's nothing like that woman in Mishri 31. Her husband is well known in the plaza because of her beauty. Now, other women walk in that way. I'm not going to constitute all women like that because I would be wrong. No more than I would say the word Niger, that he said that what it means, that's false. The Torah talks about one not eating niggardly, but I understand what that means. That word is relegated to the people of Yohu because that's what they will call him in the hills of Tennessee out there. You understand? And so to say that it is a misnomer, that's a lie. It's one thing. I am a warrior. I will never reduce the men to that kind of terminology. I would tell you that's silly. That's immature. That's what I would tell you. But that's false. It's a lie. He has not ordained polygamy. Out of the 613 laws, you will not find that at all. This is a heathenistic type of action. This is a rebellious spirit against Yah. And every man, if you pay attention closely, examine Abraham, he disobeyed Yah. He obeyed his wife. Laban played Yahuwah. He should have said, hell no. You're not going to do me like that. But because he loved Rivka, he was willing to work for her. And that's what Yah has done because he loves us. He suffered those things with us. Although that we are a dismal people, he still suffered that with us. That he may bring us into the fullness of the knowledge of Yahshua HaMashiach. That he may bless us richly. That is his call. And the zirah of Abraham, no more than you can number the hairs of your head. And it is calculated there about 300,000. I'm losing some, so I don't know, getting gray. Yet you cannot number the zirah of Abraham. If you can number the stars of the heaven, you can number the seed. If you can number the sand of the sea, you can number the zirah of Abraham. It cannot be. That's why we will know each other by the peri of the bara, the fruit of the excellence of the wisdom of Yah. We need strong men. That's how we know. We need men to rebuke us and tell us we are liars. And I will say to him, his lies are false. I don't denounce that. By the way, bring me my totes back to test you. I'm not a coward, you understand? You said I'm not welcome to straightway. Come on, let's use some basketball. I'll take you down still. So that's what this is about. He doesn't attempt, you can't even take care of one wife. He's in a community construct. He can live off the offerings of those that sin. He can have and lay down with other women. That's wrong. It's coming down. You watch what I tell you. It's going to come down. Why not give those that need a wife? Why not give them the wives? What do you need two for? You got brothers that need wives? Give them the wives. How about that? I think that would be the most appropriate, the most proper thing to do. He looks at you with 3 or 4 women. You in the house and you got them all there. I'm not saying you got that. One hearing this moan and one hearing that. That's insane and sickly. It's not of Yah. One ikat, one wife, one man. And we produce that way. We multiply because we multiply in the truth of Almighty Yah, not in some frivolous, foolish act of what we call truth. There is no polygamous. There is no concubine situation in Torah that was fruitful and was a blessing to the nation. Not one. Not one of them blessed the nation. Every kind of disease, holy, the minds dress adamantly against Yah. There is not one account. You can show me what the riches and the blessings of Yah was bestowed upon that people and us as a nation through the polygamous concubines. And I got 5 wives. You can't take care of one. I'm a man. It's difficult to take care of one. That's the truth. Your lust. And a wicked, greedy man like that, his mouth is never satisfied. Nom, nom. He wants more. I've been faithful to one woman, her. I know no other woman. And I could have had hundreds of women. I know no woman but that one. My love is too rich. It is too personal. And they come on me all the time. She's standing there. They come on me. Heifer. I don't even speak to women. I don't even talk to them. Disregard my wife, you Jezebel. So that's not the issue. I'm too old anyway. He's getting old too. He's gray. All of that. What do he need another wife for? He doesn't need one. He's stupid. He hasn't loved the one he got. That's a fact. Where is she? She should be here with you, buddy. That's a fact. I go nowhere without her. She's my protection. She protects me. She protects me. She is my champion.
I mean, should we all start bowing down to her? I mean, she's a goddess or something like that. If he had that kind of love for Yahweh, man, maybe he could see then, could he? My God. It sounds like Egyptology to me. All goddess and everything else. Where's my wife? Chase keep her at home. That's what she is. What did the earlier seminaries do? What did seminaries do? They sent out men. My wife is where she's supposed to be. And when I have my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 2nd, 50th, they'll be where they're supposed to be. And it's none of your business.
He's going to take your daughters.
It's none of your business. Isn't that amazing? Now, the truth is, I do appreciate each and every last one of you coming. And the one thing about it, a warrior don't have to convince you that he's a warrior. I don't have to say a word. My walk is enough. You don't let your own lips praise you. You let the lips of another praise you. Of course, then when somebody else tries it, you get cut down like a tree. See, this is the theology of the day and hour. And this is the reason why people are so mixed up. I wouldn't advise no one to listen to this snake. As exactly as a fork-tongued serpent. None whatsoever at all. I'm not going to spend the rest of the time right here. I know you're already fatigued. I can see it in your eyes. You know, when the devil is pushing, the booger drains. Maybe I should start a deliverance, see what happens. Yes, sir. See who's playing in. But I do appreciate each and every last one of you for honoring and coming here. I hope you came with an open mind because I actually told the moderator myself, I'm interested in hearing what he has to say. Because I don't think anybody has anything they can do against it. And I proved today that nobody still has nothing they can do against it. He still, in all that was said, did not answer the questions. Or the questions. He dodged every single one of them. And I repeatedly answered his questions. And I didn't answer his questions for him. I did it for you. So you yourself will know who Yah is really truly with. I wish you all safe journeys, safe travels, traveling mercies to each and every last one of you. I thank you for coming all the way from Chicago, Honorable Pastor John Tatum. We give honor to what honors due. I appreciate the moderation and your time. Each and every last one of you that came. Makes no difference whether you believe or not. But I tell you what, I want y'all to use this, that if he had that kind of love for y'all, of course he can't have that kind of love for y'all because we know who y'all is, his wife. I didn't hear him talk about y'all like that. Not at all. None whatsoever at all. Use this as a teaching tool. And from this day forward, you're going to hear Pastor Dowell actually going into the intricate works of biblical marriage and polygyny. I'm going to actually come out in full force, even more so, and explain it just so that our people can have the words and the knowledge, the teachers and the understanding to be able to combat all these lying spirits. I bid each and every last one of you shalom in the precious name of Yahshua HaMashiach. I thank you for honoring me and coming. Most of you have given offerings for the expense of this wonderful room with these chandeliers. Look expensive too. I turn the rest of my time back over to the moderator. Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming. Royal Roberts.
Okay, that concludes the event for today. Thank you for listening, and you can direct your questions to the individual pastors through their websites and their email.
Copy of that. Can I get a copy?
Did y'all record that?
Can we get a copy? Or send me that? Can you send that to me, please?